So this week in auto history, in 1915, the 1 millionth Model T was produced.
Wow.
It was a triumph for Henry Ford. And you got to remember, he built
He
what was
built
it?
Triumphs too?
No, 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 no. But they built 15 million by 1929.
And 14 million were still on the road.
And well, I've got more to that story. Yeah, 14 million of them could still be on the road. But the speed and efficiency of Ford's factories made automobiles cheaper than ever. You got to remember, a Model T in its day was under $1,000, and Ford wanted to build a car that was affordable, not affordable, but affordable to the general population.
And he did.
Yep. And the way he made them cheaper was he was the first one with a moving assembly line that was quite revolutionary at the Highland Park plant. The wood crates that certain components were delivered in, Ford gave a design specification of the wood crate, and the wood from the crate was reused for the vehicle elsewhere because basically the body of the vehicle, the chassis of the vehicle was wood, and then metal was attached to it, and that's how the body
Some
was
parts of
attached
like
to
the door and inside the fenders, like bracing.
it. Was all.
And I understand that he built the factory up there in Dearborn because he was in the woods, chopped down all the trees to use in the cars.
And he bought his own rubber
That was
tree
in South America.
plantation.
Fordlandia.
And then there was a place up in the Upper Peninsula where he had bought this huge tract of land to get the wood from. So he was trying to manage all aspects of his cost of production. He had his own electric facility, electric production facility there at River Rouge, and they did all their own foundry work as well. It's pretty amazing.
And the waste material was used for heating and providing power to the plant as well.
So, pretty innovative. In 1939, the first production Lincoln Continental was finished this week. Prototypes of the touring car had already been driven, but Lincoln Continentals of the 40s are commonly considered some of the most beautiful production cars ever made. Today, the Lincoln Continental remains one of the world's most popular luxury cars. In 1969, the first 1970 Chevy SS LS6 was built, and that was the 454, 450 horsepower big block Chevelle. The first Chevelle SS rolled off the assembly line at the Baltimore assembly plant.
Baltimore.
A GM executive ordered it as his own demonstrator, and when he received it, he found somebody had scribbled 2 notes on the build sheet. Pilot job, and if it had wings, it would fly. It was the highest, in its day, it was the highest rated horsepower vehicle in production in the United States.
That's cool.
At 450 horsepower. Quite collectible today.
I'll say. But didn't they put that motor in the Corvette?
Yeah, but it was later, and there was very, very few of them went into Corvettes.
Yeah.
I want to say, I want to say there was 2 of them that actually made it in Corvettes, but you had to order it it was a Copo order. And then in 1949, a Swedish company by the name of Svenska Aeroplan Aktiebolaget.
Wait,
This is one I generally save for
me.
Svenska Aeroplan Aktiebolaget.
Doodah.
They produced their first motor car, and in 1965, the concern changed its name to Saab.
Oh, my God.
And
Oh, no. We went through all of that to go to the Saab.
To get to
name?
a Saab.
Ah.
you got to remember, early Saabs were 2-strokes.
I'm sobbing over this story.
I had a stroke actually one
tearing
time.
up.
The only time that I drove
Crying
ridden
over
in
here.
one, I didn't drive it. It
Don't
was
sob.
awful. What a horrible car.
They were, you had to add gas and oil at the same time.
Oh, it was just awful. Just awful.
In
I knew somebody that actually owned a Saab.
Oh, yeah.
And it was in the shop all the time.
I was responsible for Saab when I worked for General Motors because you got to remember GM purchased Saab
that was a
as
brilliant
Saab was
move.
going out of business. Another wonderful decision by GM senior management. Lee Iacocca became the president of Ford Motor Company this week in 1970. Iacocca joined Ford as an engineer in the 40s and quickly moved into the marketing department, where he gained influence quickly as the driving force behind the Ford Mustang. Iacocca, and not just the Mustang, but also the original, the short wheelbase Ford Bronco. Iacocca was eventually ousted from Ford in 1978 because of conflicts with Henry, not Jr., what was it, Henry III?
Edsel?
And Lee Iacocca went on to become president of the struggling Chrysler Corporation and was definitely the one who saved Chrysler from collapse with the government bailout loan that they actually paid back. Hear that, Mary? Chrysler paid back their government loan. You never did.
What are you calling?
Go ahead.
And in 1981, Mitsubishi Motors, the automotive division of the huge Mitsubishi conglomerate of Japan, began selling cars in the United States under its own name. Previously, Mitsubishi had done business in the States, but only in partnerships with other companies, one of them being Chrysler with the Diamond Motor the Diamond Motor Star cars.
That it?
Mm-hmm.
That was good. It's always good. I like it when you do that.
Good. It's good
All right.
when it's good.